Okay, let's take a look at pitfalls 16 through 30 and see what we can learn so we don't have to make the same mistakes. Number 16, becoming defensive when people object. I've seen some people get so mad when they got, when the people they wanted to help didn't want to be helped, and that tact doesn't work. Don't fear objections. That indicates interest. It indicates that it's kind of like them saying, well, just tell me more. I'm not going to say yes because I don't know enough yet, so I'll say no. But the no doesn't necessarily mean no. It generally means I don't know enough yet to say yes. So tell me more. But this is premised on you knowing their needs. They don't want to just be bombarded. They don't want to stand there and just have you, verbal diarrhea sort of thing. You need to first have identified their needs, and then you begin to explore how you might be able to help them fulfill their needs. And if you're legit, and if they can understand what you're saying, how can they say no? They'll say yes. No basically comes from ignorance, because people don't want to do something they don't understand. In this world where people get into trouble and there's a lot of risk, people are comfortable. The change is not something they intentionally go after. Until you help them understand that they need to change, because if they keep on doing what they're doing, they're going to keep on getting what they're getting. So basically, when they say no, it often means I'm not sold yet. So respect and honor people for their rejections. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But I found with Manatech, it's completely different. So they might say, no, I don't have enough time. Or no, I don't have enough money. And your response could be, well, I know, that's why I came to you. I thought you'd be tired of not having any time. I thought you'd be tired of not having enough money. You don't want to be broke all your life. You don't want to be poor all your life, do you? You don't want to be busy all your life. So any rejection can be turned into a positive. And the fun is trying to figure out how to turn it around. And usually, always remember feel, felt, found. Because you can use it all the time. When somebody has any kind of a rejection, you say, yeah, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But I found in this situation, it's nothing like that. Or this happens instead, or however you want to explain it. So what you will learn to enjoy and what you'll learn to welcome are objections. Because the longer they object, the longer the conversation and the greater the opportunity and likelihood that you'll be able to help them understand how you can help them. So don't quit with your initial rejection. You can always say, look, I understand the timing's not right. You're focused on the marriage of your son and daughter, or you're going through a divorce. People go through cycles of highs and lows, and there's that window of opportunity in between where you can approach them. And so I often say, because they feel badly about saying no often, and especially if they're your friends, people you've known for a while, so you can say, I understand, don't worry about it. What if I get back to you in a month or so and let you know how things are going? And they always say yes to that, because they feel so badly about saying no initially. The research indicates that you got to go through like 8 no's. I'm not sure it's 8, but there are a whole series, 4 or 5, it might be 8 no's before they have a yes. Because no's mean no, not now, or no, I don't know enough yet. And that's why it's good to do 3-way calls with your upline, because you're the foot in the door, but the upline has the credibility. The upline is the unknown expert, and so sometimes that can make a difference. So we call it dripping on people, dripping on our friends. Just keep them in the loop. Just touch base from time to time, and they may come on board when they cycle up or cycle down, or they're in that whatever the window is where they know they need to check out what we're offering. Okay, number 17. not following up. Industry research has shown that you need to contact a person 6 to 8 times. Ah, that was close. Just like TV ads do. I mean, if you see an ad on TV, it's unlikely that you'll buy just that first time you see it. You may need to see it a couple times before you write it down or think about, yeah, this could work. So it takes a while, dripping, before they make a positive decision. People are automatically skeptical of anything new until it becomes familiar. People are also distracted with, lots of good events or the bad events that come into their life. So you need to get to them when they're open. Let me know Let me know you are there. Let them know you are there for them, with an occasional email or maybe a note or a postcard mentioning what's going on and testimonials with some pictures. And realtors are good at this. We have a realtor who sends us almost every month another little postcard, some interesting saying, or just kind of keeping us warm. And I suppose if we ever need to sell or want to buy a piece of property, that we'll probably think of them first, huh? Number 18, not joining a networking group or a club. Give to others and they'll give to you. So if you rub shoulders at a leads group, Chamber of Commerce, something like that, and you find out that your 20 associates there, he's in real estate or he's in banking or he's in photography or whatever, flowers, and you're networking, keep an eye out for leads you can send to them, because then they'll be grateful. They'll be looking harder to send leads to you. You can check bni.com, ryze.com, and meetup.com, meetup.com. That's bni.com, ryze.com, and meetup.com, the Chamber of Commerce. Join hobby or sports groups, fishing clubs, dog owners. There are lots of ways to put yourself around people in a very comfortable manner. And if you share similar hobbies or interests, you already have an initial contact in terms of how you can relate to each other. If you pick up the newspaper, in the section of the newspapers, they're showing what the upcoming events are and which clubs are meeting and which concerts and which theatrical performance and organizations. Get out and have some fun. This is supposed to be a fun business, and we have a blast doing it. And half of it is rubbing shoulders with other people, whether it's at a movie theater or at a restaurant or whatever the case may be. There are lots of excuses for getting out and about, not just to fill up at the pump with your, for gasoline, or go to the bank and stand in line at the post office. And I hope you're making good use of your time there. It sure makes time go quickly just to practice opening conversations. Lesson 1 in the simple approach. Number 19, not giving your prospects a deadline. We need always to create two things. Create a curiosity, because people won't act if they aren't curious. And of course the best way to destroy curiosity is to talk too much, but we've already covered that. But this refers to the second thing that's essential in meeting with people, and that's to create a sense of urgency. Because people don't do what's important, they do what's urgent. So how do you turn the important into the urgent? You set a specific deadline, and not 5 days down the road. Hopefully it's tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow. But you want to set a specific deadline when you can get back to them. Establish a follow-up schedule that both can agree to. Insist that they review the material quickly. Why let them cool off and get distracted? A sense of urgency is critical. And the money's in the follow-up. Number 20. Another pitfall, another mistake we tend to make is we focus on the products rather than on people. And I already mentioned this before. We're so wrapped up and enthralled with our products, we don't find out about the people we're approaching. This is a business people. You have to learn their needs. You have to learn their desires. Number 21, not building your list. Check virtualupline.com/memoryjogger.html. virtualuplines.com/memoryjogger.html. That's a /. To help build a good list of at least 100 plus contacts. The best 20 of which you'll contact with your upline. Meanwhile, call the worst first, so you get some experience and make mistakes with those that don't matter so much. We always go to our best friends first, the people that matter most to us first, and then when they say no, it's just devastating. Go to the people you don't really want in your business. I mean, it's great business. You get to work with whoever you want to work with, and some people you don't want in your business, and that's fine. It's your prerogative. But it's important to make a list. And what you can do is sit down with the yellow pages and start with the A's, the accountings, the artists, and just say, go through those headings. Who do you know who's an actuarial? Who do you know who's a banker, a beekeeper? Who do you know who's a comptroller? Or D, a dentist? And you go through the yellow pages, and you'll be amazed at how many names that generates. And you can find their phone numbers later. We have something called Net Detective, and you can look everybody up. But you want a good list. So then if your list is 10 people, and 5 say no, my lord, that's 50%. You're scared to even approach the last 5. But if you start out with a list of 100 and the first 10 say no, that's not a big deal. You get 90 to go. And if you ever get 3 or 4 no's in a row, always check with your upline. Say, hey, I got 4 no's in a row. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Would you mind critiquing my, how I come across? Can we kind of role model and play this thing through? And I'll tell them what I say, and what questions would you ask, and how do you handle that? And your upline would be glad to do that. Okay, number 22, not asking for referrals every time, even when you get no's. And people feel so badly, as I mentioned, about saying a no, that they'll be glad to have you contact them in a month or 2, but they'll also be glad to give you referrals. Well, Dave, I know that this might not be of interest to you at this point, and that's fine, but who can you think of? Don't ask, do you know anybody else, because they can say yes or no. And it's always easy to say no. But when you say, who can you think of? Who do you know that might be interested? And I'll treat them the same way I've treated you. And they're more than willing, generally, to give you 4 or 5 names. And so this can begin to snowball. And your little list gets bigger and bigger. We have probably in the last, since 1994, when we opened our account, we've probably enrolled personally 10 or 12 people a year since then. But we've got over 20,000 people in our downline, and we don't know them all. So it doesn't take a lot of people. You get a couple referrals here, and really, to become a Platinum Presidential, you only need 4 leaders that are really going to build this thing big. And so always ask for referrals. Those who decline your offer are more likely to give you a referral because they feel badly about saying no. So ask. Every sparrow knows an eagle. Whom do you know who may have an interest in looking better, feeling better, living better? Can I get their number and your permission to give them a call? What are you going to say? No? If you have problems here, review your technique with your upline. Number 23, not being prepared at all times. Have business cards and whatever other tools recommended in the car and on you, and be familiar with the websites that you would send them to. Prospect a little every day, and it will equal a lot over the long run. So always, for any reason, if you're leaving the house, always have whatever you're going to need. If somebody comes along, or if you run into something, and you may not be expecting it at all, but if it happens, be prepared. Okay, the next mistake we're all likely to make, number 24, not using 3-way calling. We have such high expectations with our best friends. oh, I know the first 5 people, they're my best friends, they're going to get in for sure. And then they all say no. And you're blown out of the water. And you think, oh my gosh, if my best friends won't get in, I'm not going to be able to enroll anybody. Because certainly somebody that doesn't know me won't get in. Wrong. Just the opposite. And yet, initially, if you don't train your new people and run them through this list, they're going to make all these mistakes. And they're going to give up. They're going to quit. They're going to think, man, I can't do this. So the value in 3-way calling is you let the experts, you let your upline, somebody who's used to talking with people, talk to your best friends. Talk to anybody. I mean, you aren't going to be charged. It's free. We'll talk with your friends for free. We'll come to your place and do presentations. Our leaders, we want you to be successful, and we know how to do it. I mean, we can get you to the point where you're making, let's say, I don't know, $20,000 every 28 days. Now, we can't get you to $50,000 every 28 days. We aren't there yet. But we know how to get to $1,000 every 28 days, and we know how to get to $8,000 every 28 days, and so use us. We're more than willing to talk to your friends. You be the bird dog, we'll be the hunter. You get the foot in the door because they know you, but then shut up and let us do the presentation. And they won't know us, and they'll be polite to us because they don't know if they can josh around with us or kid the way they kid you, or just put you off or whatever. So they'll be polite enough to listen, and it works great. So if you don't know how to do 3-way calling, learn, practice. Generally, it's free. It's on most lines. You'll see at the bottom of the dial one of the buttons where it says flash. So what you do is you call me up or your upline and say, I want to do a 3-way call. And the guy says, great, what's his phone number? Tell me a little bit about him. Why is he interested? What are his needs? You got to do your homework first. Don't leave this to us. You just ask your friends a lot of questions. Do you still have that issue? Are you still wrestling with this? How's it going with such and such? And you're in a great position to touch base and find out how things are going. And you don't have to mention that you have any solutions. But then call us and fill us in, so we know what to say and how to approach them. And then you hit flash, and the line goes blank, and you get a new dial tone. And then you dial your friend's number, and as it's ringing, you hit flash again, and I'm back on the line with you. Then all 3 of us can talk and hear each other. And there's a spiel that you get as part of the success program. Let your leader do it, because there'll be a chance where he says, I actually have Dennis here with me, and Dennis, he's on the line, and that's where you would say, if your name is Dennis or whatever your name is, you'd say, hey, Dave, it's Dennis, how you doing? And then shut up and start listening and learning how we handle Dave, and because we're used to it, and he's not going to listen to you anyhow. He'll be open to us. And so, boy, one of the best ways to build this business is 3-way calling and conference calls. Okay, number 25, not sending thank you cards. Make sure your new associate is more than pleased with your performance, not just your offers to help. Stay in touch with cards congratulating them for anything that happens. And you can track this with Success Tracker. For emailing others, for birthdays, for new enrollments, new achievements, new levels attained. Send them a card on their anniversary. Associates quit because of your performance or lack thereof. Remember, it's a people business. And so, sure, I'm a bronze presidential. We have to leave some things to our presidentials. We can't do everything, of course. But our presidentials, they're working with the executives, and the executive directors are working with the national directors, and the national directors are working with the regional directors, and the regional directors are saying, I got some new associates, and I can't do a good enough job by them yet, so could you work with them? The nationals will say sure, or the executives will help the nationals. It's not a formal thing, but you want to stay in touch. I can't obviously stay in touch with all 20,000 people. But hopefully the regional directors are staying in touch with their downline. And the nationals are staying in touch with the regionals and encouraging them, and the executives are encouraging the nationals, and the presidentials are encouraging the executives. And it's one big team. When was the last time you sent a card of appreciation to somebody? Number 26. Another mistake we make is we chase people instead of having them chase us. Others avoid people who are needy. The more desperate you are to sign someone up, the less chance you have of interesting them. You don't need any specific individual. Sure, I wish my best friends were on board with me, but I don't need them. I've become very successful with a lot of people I never knew. You're looking for those who qualify to work with you. It is human nature to want something more when it is scarce. Your attitude, you're sitting on a gold mine with the best products and services. I'm not sure this is for you. Should I take you off my list? I work only with people who are really serious about doing something about their problems. Are you serious? Are you serious about your goals? I don't have time to waste, and I don't want to waste your time. I only work with people that really want to be successful. Yeah, isn't that a change of pace? Rather than going through, oh, please get involved, listen to my spiel, blah, blah, blah. No. People don't want to deal with needy people. So the more comfortable, the more laid back you are, the more success you'll have. Number 27, not having business cards. One of the most effective things you can do to prevent people from dropping out is having them get business cards right away. If you decrease the dropout rate by just 3%, you'll increase profitability by 68%. Go to vistaprint.com, vistaprint.com, Vistaprint, and get 250 cards free, and you can design them. You pay postage, which is shipping and handling about $6, but it's the best deal out there. So have business cards, keep them with you all the time. I have one for skincare. I have one for the water wellness bottles. I have one for fat loss. I have one for the business opportunity to make a lot of money. I have one for still not up to speed. What if there were a solution out there? Can you see my business cards here? I got those three, and I got these three. So depending on who I'm talking with, I can give them the right business card. And last night at the Hispanic meeting at the Chamber of Commerce, I told people, this is my business card. I don't know if you can read that. You know anyone living in Mexico? And then this little thing about sending them to a website in Mexico. You know, explorermanatech.com, on the top right it says en español. You click on that and it all turns into Spanish. And so this is fantastic. Number 28, thinking you can advertise your way to success. Oh golly day, we went through that stage where you put stuff on under windshield wipers, you put things stuck into the windows, you put little hang things on doorknobs at houses, you hammer things on telephone poles, you leave flyers, you pay a lot of money for advertising in the phone book or the newspaper. None of it pans out. I'm not aware of any presidential that had any success. This is a people business. I'm sorry, you're going to have to get out and rub shoulders with people and learn to like people and become a likable person, a person they want to hang out with, the person they want to become wealthy with. You have to run the same ad at least 4 times. So save money and join a co-op or team up with others. You still have to be skilled at answering questions, handling objections, and leading them over the phone. Number 29, creating and using traditional websites. Building your database of prospects is more important than any other thing you do on the web. Offer something that's perceived to be of great value for free in order to grab their information. Don't try to sell anything or collect money the first contact. And this pertains to leads And we've all tried buying leads, and I'm not aware of very many people that have had success. We call up the leads we paid for. They've been called already 8 times before by other people. They don't want to be called by anybody. They don't know how they got selected on a leads group. They don't have that need that we suppose they had. It's a lot of times it's a ripoff. And so, save some money. There are people all around you, everywhere you go, all day long, that need to hear about this stuff. And we imagine that, well, if they're, pre-selected, and I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. The people that collect all the leads make money by selling their leads, and they tell them they're virgin leads. Well, half the time that's not true, and they've sold that list 20 times, 100 times, 700 times, and but if you're doing something on the web, if you're going to send them to the web, to your ManaPages.com, and you all get a ManaPage, you all get a free ManaPage, you get a free website from Manatech. And if you log in, Manatech.com, up on the top right, about one level down below the current news, I think, is a section on setting up your own web, your ManaPages. And you can have something in there offering them some kind of a 2-for-1 or whatever you want to say. Number 30. Not using special offers. Special offers work, especially if everybody can qualify. So from time to time, we'll send an offer to our downline saying, hey, we'll, write us your testimonial. Don't mention diseases. Instead of allergies, you can talk about in the spring when the pollen comes out and you get sinus congestion, runny eyes and runny nose and headaches and stuff. That's fine. But send in your testimonials, and we'll post them on for everybody to enjoy, and whoever has a testimonial that we select will get a free jar of Manasee or something like that. And so that's fun, that's encouraging, and everybody has a chance to qualify. So that's number 30, and we'll come back and continue on the 87 mistakes that new associates make when they're learning about multi-level marketing.